Hello everybody, it is lividfray and welcome back to another episode of Just the Good Stuff, where I show you only the good stuff from the vendor restocks each week. As usual, I like to start off right here inside the terminal, and we actually have some really good picks here this week. And I'm going to start off first with this Cassidy. You might be kind of surprised that I'm recommending a Cassidy, but this does have an accurate roll. Since we had these for sale a couple weeks ago with an accurate roll, and I was only able to buy one because I wasn't really online to like farm for Phoenix credits, so I'm thankful that these are for sale again because I'm able to buy the one more this week to use with Lone Star. These guns are really fun to use with Lone Star. Definitely wouldn't recommend them as much for PvE, but for PvP they can be quite a bit of fun. So if you're looking for a PvP build to throw on during our Last Stand events, you can definitely do a double Lone Star Cassidy, and they're pretty fun to use. The next one that I'm recommending is this Liberator. The Liberator has Prepared, Deadly, and Unforgiving already rolled. You just have to roll Prepared off for Responsive is what I would recommend. Prepared also works well, but you're more than likely to fight players at a closer distance than far. So I would definitely recommend using this. If you don't know the Liberator, it's just an exotic lightweight M4. It has the same stats, damage, everything. It just has, obviously, an exotic talent with the Centurion, so if you wanted to buy the Centurion this week, you could do this, but I don't think this is really worth your time. Just the gun by itself has really good rolls. The next gun that we're going to be checking out is this Police M4. It has Skilled, Confident, and Determined already rolled. You can just roll off Skilled for Talented. I have a gun with these exact talents on my main character for my Tactician build, for my Sticky Bomb. The Police M4 has the exact same stats as the Lightweight M4 and the LVOA. It just has a different recoil pattern. It's a little bit more inaccurate, but the gun is still pretty cool, and it already has the talents that you need. You just have to roll one slot. So I like to use this gun to actually unlock the Talented proc, and then I'll switch my gun to the secondary, which usually has the Destructive, Ferocious, and Determined on there. So would definitely recommend buying this if you don't have something like this already. And then the last thing we're checking out is a backpack here. Specialized backpack on stamina with skill power and ammo capacity. The skill power and ammo capacity is pretty decently rolled. You'll just have to increase your stamina, or you can change it over to firearms so you can get that percentage into your skill power. For the first time in a long time, there's actually nothing at Cam Clinton that I would recommend aside from blueprints. So we're just going to head to the next safe room, which is going to be Autumn's Hope. Alright, I've made it to the Autumn's Hope safe room. This vendor does have a Relentless backpack for us for sale. Already electronics rolled, has skill power here. You could probably increase the skill power, or you could just optimize this and increase the electronics. It's whatever you would like to do there. Ammo capacity is already rolled, but you can also change this to disrupt resistance if you would like to. It's completely up to you on if you would prefer ammo capacity or disrupt, but this backpack in itself is very good to be snagging this week. Alright, so this was our last Light Zone safe room. Now we're going to be heading to our first Dark Zone checkpoint, which is going to be West 31st Street. Alright, I've made it to West 31st Street. This vendor does have a performance mod for us this week. Seeker Mine damage to be exact. These are perfect to be throwing on with Relentless backpacks, so it'll pair very well with the backpack that's at Autumn's Hope, because the bleed that comes from the Seeker Mines is going to increase your overall healing. These are perfect to be running in legendaries, for example. I would definitely recommend picking these up if you don't have any of these for your Tactician builds at all. Alright, the next vendor that I've already traveled to is going to be East 42nd Street up here in the Dark Zone. This vendor does have an LVOA for sale with Competent, Focused, and Responsive. You could roll Focused off for something else, and this would work very well for a Tactician build, or an Alpha Bridge build is what I would actually recommend it for, since you already have that Responsive on the bottom slot. Usually if you have higher electronics, this talent is much harder to meet, so this would be a pretty good weapon to be utilizing. After this LVOA, we also have an extended magazine here. This is an amazing extended magazine. It already has 121% magazine size with critical hit chance and damage. I think the max critical hit chance might be 3 or 3.5, but this is still an incredibly rolled extended magazine. I would definitely recommend picking some of these up. I actually have quite a few of these already, thankfully, so I don't have to buy them. As you can see, I'm still lacking those Dark Zone credits. I did spend a little bit of time in here, but not really that much. But if you have the credits to spare and if you need these, I would definitely recommend getting them. We don't get a roll like this very often. The next vendor that we're going to be checking out is East 46th Street up here in the Dark Zone. This is just one more checkpoint up. And this vendor is going to be selling a stamina mod for us this week at 263 stamina and 3200 health. These are really good to be throwing on, for example, your defense builds, really any kind of build where you need stamina with health rolled. These mods also work very well on striker builds, where if you want to increase your health pool, so 9k stamina strikers in the Dark Zone, these work pretty well. Our next vendor is just going to be right across the street over here at West 46th Street. And this vendor is going to be selling a Tyrant Suppressor for us this week. It already has all the rolls that you want, 7.5%, 6% headshot damage, 4% critical hit damage. Now, I'm a little short on time today, so I'm not going to be visiting this vendor, but I will inform you that the DZ04 Saferoom vendor does have 2% pulse critical hit chance mods. Yep, sorry, I'm not able to go over here and visit this, but I want to get this video uploaded as soon as possible because I'm running a little bit late this morning. I just wanted to let you guys know that this vendor at the Saferoom does have a critical hit chance pulse mod for sale. Alright, I will go ahead and show you guys this vendor though. I've made it up here to the DZ08 Saferoom. It's not very far from this checkpoint. So this vendor is selling an inventive backpack this week. It has a firearms roll that you can roll off, and it already has a skill power roll and ammo capacity. These rolls themselves are a little bit on the low side, but I would definitely recommend prioritizing rolling this firearms over to electronics, and then you already have an inventive backpack that's pretty god roll. Again, you can also do one with disrupt resistance. I think the majority of mine have disrupt resistance on them, but this minor attribute doesn't really matter as much as long as you have skill power with electronics. This is the perfect backpack to be using. Thank you again to Op, my moderator, for the footage for this week's blueprints. We're starting off inside the terminal. The MP7 blueprint is for sale this week. I definitely recommend the MP7 if you don't have the house. We also have the classic M44 carbine. This is the hardest hitting sniper rifle. And the electronics backpack is for sale. If you don't want to get the Relentless or the inventive backpacks for sale this week, this blueprint is available. The small laser pointer is for sale. This gives you accuracy. I like to throw these on for my pistols, especially for my sentry build. And the electronics gear mod blueprint is for sale this week. You can craft your electronics skill power mods, your electronics skill haste mods, whatever you want there. We also have the firearms gear mod blueprint for sale. I think these were for sale last week, but I still like to recommend getting these. I'm recommending this hand stop blueprint. It is power level 33, but I believe this is the highest level for the hand stop that we have. So if you are wanting something for reload speed, you can buy these and craft these. Heading over to the Cam Clinton blueprint vendor, the only blueprint that's actually different at this vendor is the Tyrant Suppressor. So if you don't want to buy the one that's for sale inside the Dark Zone this week, you could just purchase this blueprint and craft them yourself, and hopefully you get a good one. This vendor is also selling the electronics and the firearms gear mod blueprint, so both locations have both of these mods available for you. Alright everybody, that is going to be it for this week's episode of Just the Good Stuff. There's a couple good items this week, especially inside the terminal. I think the terminal was our hardest hitting vendor this week, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything that you guys actually picked up. And it's really unfortunate that we don't have any damage to late mods this week. We had quite a few of them in a row, so I guess this is just the week where we suffer without them. Hopefully we get some in the future that you guys can pick up, but if you didn't like anything this week, there is always next week. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Have a great rest of your guys' day.